So Leah's sixth generation here.
Wow.
So our family were the first white settlers in this community on my mother's side. In that house down there that's burnt down was a picture of her mother, who was a big part of this valley was owned by one family basically. And I remember Dad telling me this story. So when they first moved to the Monaro had the graziers, like huge grazing properties. They used to burn off the plains every year. That was what was done, and I guess that was done for many years, but they weren't very selective about when they were burning it off. They were early conservationists. They didn't want to burn off at the wrong time and have these really hot fires. They wanted to have cool burns. The top of the range is swamplands, believe it or not, and these swamplands needed to be burned off at the right time of the year so they could have grazing for their sheep. So he lobbied the government and said, we have to change this system. We have to control when we burn so that we can burn at the right time to get the better grazing benefits. So he lobbied and lobbied until they started a system called fire wardens, and they made him the fire warden. So he became one of the first, as the system is now, where you have to go get a permit. Mm-hmm. So what they'd do is they'd have to meet with each other and discuss when they would burn, and he was the one to issue the permit. So that was the beginning of fire control and burning off at the right time to take down the understory, the fuel for the fire. We can't control the ignition because this started from a lightning strike. We can't control the oxygen, but we can control the fuel. And that goes right back to the traditional owners. That's what they speak about. It's not new. At times of the year they'd go through and they'd throw a match out and they'd burn out these areas. That's how it was done. And it was done that way with the Aboriginals. It was the same process. We've lost that. I've even lost that, because even since bureaucracy has begun and they've really put a cap on it, and they run it from Sydney or wherever, I can't burn off because I'm not allowed to burn off. Yeah. But my father taught me how to do that, and we've just neglected it. National parks have this thing of they do burn off, they do aerial drops, but they do no maintenance, they have no money. And they do small burns, but because they are so concerned about it getting away, that it just didn't happen. And that kept repeating itself year after year after year after year until you couldn't burn. So the fuel has become so massive with warming temperatures and drought that this has happened. On the night of the fire, I could hear my mother telling me, who's also in the grave now, I told you so. The politics has got to disappear. It's got to go. This is real, and this is about talking to people about what their knowledge is and how it could be different, but doing it in a respectful way. I think until you go through that trauma and that time of despair is when you get your strength, and when it becomes clearer of what's got to be done. Like, we're still in that time of being anxious and uncertain, but we'll get stronger from that. But we've got to talk.